And here we go. It's day 3 of 5, but we'll take what we can get. Good morning to you. How is everybody this morning? I had all kind of problems at a remote yesterday. Just one of them days, very long day. The only thing that made the day better was I got to top it off with a little bit of shrimp and fries from the Cranky Crab because she happened to be working late at Untapped Territories down in Lincoln, and I didn't get done till 7:15 last night with the remote, and just dropped by there and had me some shrimp on the way home and just ate it in the big red truck when I was coming home.
In the truck or in the back bed there?
No. I put it up on the. I got a big wide console. I set it up there and even got brave and took the lid off the cocktail sauce and dipped a few going down the road as well. So, because I was hungry, I done got past hungry. I was hungry, so that was good. That helped get me through the rest of the day. Glad to have you guys along with us here today. Just so happy to have Andrew Williams back. I don't know why, but
he's glad to be back, too.
I know he is. Full house. Thank you, guys. Andrew, Richie, good morning. Glad to have you along with us. Let's see. Gaston Braves beat Post 100 in American Legion Baseball last night, 4-0.
Okay.
And the amazing part about all of that was it was over in 2 hours.
It's 7 innings of baseball.
There you
I did
go.
not know that.
So, everything's said that. Again, that's why, it's 7 innings of baseball. Now you're getting into the good baseball, right? Guys can pitch, you can play defense. Games don't last 3 and 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't last that long when we played 9 innings. They were more strategic. But the Legion games, like Bobby and I were talking about, I was talking to Jeff Gibson's a great example. He's the guy that for the Gaston Braves, he's their general manager, GM, that kind of thing. He called me out of the blue the other day because we hadn't talked in like a year or so, and we were just talking about stuff, and he said, I miss you and all this stuff, and we were going through everything. And said, yeah. And he said, baseball is just so different now. He said 7, 8, 9 is what made American Legion exciting. And he said now, if you got a good pitcher, even if your team is crappy, he said that's not the way this was intended. He said they've got to fix this. And Bobby's the same. Bobby plays as many 9-inning games as he can.
But
I'm talking about Coach Reynolds at Cherville,
but
when he does tournaments and everything.
The whole thing, I listened to help me with names here to make sure, because I can't flex my baseball knowledge that much. Dave Roberts is the manager of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
He was on Dan Patrick yesterday, and they were talking about it, and he was talking about how it had changed.
Yeah.
And Dan said, Dan Patrick said, when I sit down and watch Sports Center and I watch the highlights from a game, it looks great. He said, but it kills me to sit down and watch a game because nobody moves.
Yeah.
Nothing moves because you get up there and you just swing for the fence, and there's nothing. There's no movement in the game, and I never thought about that with baseball, but that's pretty key. And I thought that's exactly what it is. You can watch it on the highlights and see the things, but if you go and say, well, okay, it took me 3.5 hours to get those 5 moments.
Yeah, that's it.
That's where baseball's losing people over that.
No, I agree.
And I don't think the pitch clock's going to fix that. They're going to have to change how they play the game.
Yeah, they're going to have to get rid of that too, and then go to another, like just a judgmental thing with the umpire as far as time and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this: if I ever coach American Legion baseball again, I never say never. Okay. I will play as many 9-inning games as I can, or I'll play doubleheader 2 7s.
Yeah.
Because you can't justify the amount of travel time to places to end up likely and playing against some teams played 5 innings because of the 10-run rule. I'm not driving to Asheville, or Hendersonville or Waynesville, and playing 5 innings of baseball. I'm not doing that.
That's an hour and a half?
2 hours to Waynesville and then an hour and a half.
Let's get your opinion.
On a bus.
Juju and I talked about this on Wednesday, talking about baseball, on maybe a way to, because like in golf, everybody's hitting it, 600 yards, and it, everything has to be tiger-proofed. And in baseball, would it help in baseball? We did a little research. Prior to 68, the mound was 15 inches.
Yep.
In 68, it went to 10.
Yeah.
would it help the game because the pitchers are so effective? Would it help the game if the mound went to 6 and it went back 6 inches? It is now 60 feet 6 inches.
That's correct.
And would it help
from the tip home plate to the front of the rubber? Yeah,
that's right.
Right.
Would any of those adjustments, undoubtedly, Juju was talking about in '68 when they made that change, is because there were some pitchers that were just killing it.
Yeah,
you said
Bob Gibson.
Oh yeah. Tom Seaver.
Tom
Seaver was a great
Danny
example.
McClain.
Yeah. I mean, there were some serious guys.
My hero.
Yeah, there's some guys that, I think the big thing, or one of the big thing was when we saw the mounds at those heights, pitchers were, drop and drive. That Tom Seaver, I just remember watching me drag that foot or that leg like Nolan Ryan would across the ground.
Yeah, and his knee would hit the
patch,
ground.
The patch or whatever that, tore open. Theoretically, the higher the mound, the more you pitch on 2 planes. The thing about it is, though, they figured out hitting to a science. Now and been able to, bring in things they call launch angle and all these things about how to go about hitting. I mean, when Charlie Lau was teaching hitting, you used to lay the bat back and then swing through the ball, get it on the same plane right now as the ball, which was my earlier baseball experience, that was being taught. The guys that go up and lay their bat back, Rod Carew, George Brett. Now that bat's up, behind your head, and, you're no longer lining your knuckles up. And you're not clubbing the bat, but you're taking it from here, and you're trying to take it from here and pop down through the ball. I say down through, but you still keep this elbow tight to the body and try to drive the ball into the air. That success ratio, guys, and I saw it again this weekend, is only – I say this weekend, this past week when I was in Atlanta watching like 400 teams, that success ratio is only good – for people that work at this craft 7-8 hours a day. The rest of them, theoretically, to be successful, need to hit down through the ball and hit it on the ground. The people that can drive the ball into the air, not pop it in there, but drive it, that's different, okay? So there's a lot of dynamics that are maybe misconstrued that young kids need to be, hitting the ball into the air. And they're not strong enough to drive the ball yet. Some of them are, 1 out of 200. So there's a lot of dynamics to the game. And the reason that people like Laney was talking about when we went to the Braves game all for 1 inning the other night, okay, they text us. The game was at 4:10. We got a text message because we got rained out that morning and said no games today. So we're playing at 7:30. It was like an hour away. I was like, you got to be kidding. So anyway, we watched the first inning. But what I saw with the pro game was, and just getting to look at things firsthand and live is the guys were adhering, to the fly ball theory, the launch angle theory, every one of them in the lineup. Okay, every one of them. And to yours and Juju's point earlier, there's no, strategic part of baseball. Riley stands, run on first inning, or run on first or second or whatever, he hits a bomb. Bottom line.
And the thing that bothers me, too, is one of the things there's not enough action is the players, either it's strategy or whatnot, they'll take so many. I've never seen so many players in watching games take pitches.
Yes.
They're not aggressive at all. They're looking in a certain area or a certain quadrant of the plate, and if it's not there, they're letting it go. Strike or ball, they're letting it go. And they're trying to hit the ball, I guess, trying to get the backspin.
That's right. That's
to
right.
Get that.
Yeah, 100%.
And I watched the game yesterday afternoon. The Pirates were playing, who were they playing? The Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins. And the Pirates took 41 strikes.
Yeah.
41 stood there. The game went 10 innings.
Right.
But they took 41 strikes. They struck out 10 or 12, 15 times.
The other thing that, you may think it's boring, but it's not, is to watch a hitter get up there and battle a pitcher to get a pitch. Fouling balls off because they can do it at will. They can do it at will.
That's an art too.
Yeah. But
Boys,
you don't
hard to do.
You don't see that. You don't see that as much anymore. And another comment that Dave Roberts made, and because Dan Patrick asked this question, and I want to say he was talking about Alex Rodriguez. They were talking about players don't steal and players don't do this, don't that. Yeah. Do you know what the answer was from a player? You don't pay me to steal.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So they don't want to play the whole game.
You don't
they
pay
just,
me to bunt.
You don't pay me to bunt.
In the regular season. I'm guessing that in
You're
the
right.
It has to change a little bit in the postseason.
Well, there's money on the line in postseason because they get huge bonuses if they win the game.
Yeah.
So then it's about doing that. But I'm going to tell you this. You guys have brought up really good points about taking pitches, okay? And
I'm a baseball guy.
There's no doubt.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Holy smokes. And I think just my thoughts on it, I think the reason that they're doing that now is because guys are throwing harder, but they're not as accurate.
Yeah.
Okay? It used to not be that way. You could not go up there and take pitches with Maddox.
No.
You had to go up there and swing at the best pitch he gave you, whether it was the first
Maddox,
or last.
Glavine, Smoltz, all those guys.
Yes. But when you go up against these power arms, I mean, it's nothing. Everybody steps out 96, 95, 94, 98, 101, but it's erratic. That's a small space to be throwing that hard to put a ball in. And so they're going to go up there and take the pitches till they get the one they like. Yeah. And I was talking to our kids this past week when we were all down there and, guys on Quinn's team and, all these guys, some are Hickory High kids, St. Stephen's kids, that are all rising seniors. So, it's a pretty good pool of kids. Fred T. Ford, good pool of kids. I was talking to them this week, and they were talking about, gosh, so-and-so throws the ball hard. I said, guys, look, it is hard, but it's like an eternity, from 60 feet for the ball to get there. If you stay dialed in your zone and you expect it to be there, you will be early. I don't care how hard he throws it. I don't care. The kid that pitched for the Yankees, Andrew, something that played at Carolina all those years ago.
Andrew Miller,
he was throwing 103, 102 in the College World Series, and Oregon State was hitting him, and nobody could understand why. It's like the O'Brien kid that pitched for Maiden that was pitched in College World Series 4 years ago. He was throwing the ball really well. He was, in the low, 91, 90, 90, 92. And they couldn't understand why, people were like, why did they take him out? He's doing so good. Well, number one, he hadn't pitched that many innings all year. Mm-hmm. All right, number two, his fastball was starting not to move. Now, he had great movement. But in that eighth inning, his fastball started getting a little flat. Now, he didn't do anything wrong. It's just you get tired, and that's what happens. Yeah. The kid pitched his heart out and did a great job. And, of course, Carolina ended up getting beat even though they had a lead when he was pitched. So why don't you not let him go out and pitch the last inning? Well, they know they're players. Mm-hmm. And baseball guys, when they see the pitcher get flat, they know what's coming. And so you got to make a judgment call. Is it better to change it up against a pitcher they haven't seen or stick with the guy they have, and now they're going to be dialed in on it?
I was watching the Braves last night. They brought in Hunter Harvey for the Nationals. He's just off the injured list. And Chip Carey made the point. The Braves have struggled a little bit. They got some injuries in their bullpen. Kelly Jansen just came back, and he pitched last night, and he struggled in the ninth inning, gave up a home run. And Chip made a point. He said, here's Hunter Harvey, guy can throw it. He hit 99 on the gun like 4 or 5 straight pitches. And he said, this is a guy he's pitching right now. He's pitching for possibly another job, getting traded at the trade deadline. Right. And he said, there are a lot of teams that are in pennant races. And I took it to mean that the Braves might be looking at somebody like a Hunter Harvey at the back end of their bullpen if he can throw 99 gas and then throw that. I guess he throws not a sinker but a splitter.
Yeah, more of a
like a splitter at about 90.
Yeah,
and that separation.
Like, yes.
99 to 90 or 90, and you throw a curve, an off-speed pitch. If you have a separation of 10 to 12 miles an hour, that throws hitters off more than anything else.
It's awful. I agree 100%.
But the biggest thing, when you talk about pitchers throwing hard, if you can hit it, the reaction is bigger.
Yeah, if you square it up, it is.
If you make contact, that force from that hard pitch works to the batter's benefit.
Great
because
example.
It'll come off the face a whole lot hotter. So if these guys can dial in and do that, honestly, 100-mile-an-hour pitch hit solid will perform better than an 80-mile-an-hour pitch because if you got the same swing because you've taken the inertia from the ball springing off the face.
Yeah. And the fastballs, the difference, you can maybe explain it, the difference between a two-seamer and a four-seamer. Right,
it's a lot of difference.
Yeah, the two-seamer moves more than a four-seamer, which is more of a straight ahead.
Yeah.
And pitchers that throw two-seamers, and if you're left-handed.
Yeah.
So we saw one this weekend. We saw two teams. We saw the Phillies the Philadelphia Phillies scout team 2023. Now, likely on that team they had like 13 kids. I would say 7 of them probably going to get drafted next year. You know, they're rising seniors. They're 2023 kids. 91, 94, bomb. I mean, just guys stood up there, and they look pro-ready right now. They're just like pro guys. And I was explaining to our kids, you know, who have those same aspirations, okay, you see where the bar's set, and you see what you got to do. But we had a guy throwing 88, 89, a sophomore kid that we brought up to play on that team, which is a junior, rising senior team, Tompkins kid out of South Carolina, and they were hitting him like it was nothing. And that's why with wood bats, and I explaining to the guys, look, you know, Mason pitched really well, but he was going against pro guys. Mm-hmm. And to your point about squaring it up, the guys got to see why it's so important to make solid contact, you know, and anticipate the ball being there. And when you do, you can have a high success rate.
You pitched. I pitched a little bit in high school, but I always thought that the more you can add and the more you can subtract as a pitcher, you could speed it up. You can take off miles an hour if you back off a little bit, throw a change up or whatever, get a lot of movement. The art of pitching, and we're seeing more and more. We're not seeing as much of the art of pitching as we used to when we were growing up.
Let me answer this question before we go any further. I did not pitch, okay? I tried to play the game. Tried to play the game and could not, just not built for it. Even I did play some softball for a number of years. I had to catch because back to the pitcher was about as far as I could throw. And then when the knees and the hips didn't want to do that anymore, I got moved to first base because you don't throw from there either. Now, I have played the hot spot a little bit.
Oh, the hot corner, huh?
Played the third. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. I had to be against old men because that's the only way I could make that throw to first and possibly get them out. Let me take a break. We'll be back.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Glad to have you here on a Friday. I got 71 degrees. Not going to be quite as warm. Hadn't been as warm this week. It's been pretty nice. In case you're wondering, I'm ready for summer to be over, just in case anybody's keeping score. How many days do football practice starts?
Got 16 days. Man.
16
yeah,
days.
So excited. Can't wait.
It's that time.
Yeah, a lot in most high schools and teams, around our area, all over the state, South Carolina, whatever, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, they've all been working out all summer. What was really cool was we played right across the street from the Atlanta Falcons training facility on Wednesday, our last day down there this week.
That's a training facility near the new. Oh, you said Falcons. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Falcons. Yeah, so it's right across the street from where we were playing in this huge complex. The high school and recreation center, boy, imagine that, a combined venture. Went together and built like 5 fields. 2 of them are dedicated to the high school, where the county fully maintenances everything. It's amazing what you do when you work together. Okay, just want to throw that out there. But anyway,
you live in such a fantasy world.
Yeah, I live in North Carolina, and that's the problem. Every high school field I saw in Georgia, I went to Sean Watson's high school, Gainesville. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to play there the first night, got rained out. Turfed, everything.
I mean, just drive down the interstate.
Yeah.
In South Carolina.
Yeah, right.
Dorman, all those places.
Oh, it's incredible. They got like 3 turf fields there.
Right around Charlotte Mack.
No,
they have
that's
turf
what I'm
practice
saying.
fields.
Now, I had an interesting conversation.
Even some of the middle schools
with somebody that works with our county, and works with maintenance and things like that, and I really believe in the next 2 to 3 years that this thing will be done. We just got to.
I don't know if you knew this. There was some money somehow came to North Lincoln.
Imagine that.
No, it was somebody was there and asked if there's anything they needed, and I think Nikki just threw out. Turf would be great on the field, and all of a sudden
they need it.
Boom! There, it just kind of happened, and the guy's like, "Whoa, wait a minute! We can't just do it for you." So there's been some appropriations, and I think the money has already been earmarked in this budget to turf all the county fields in Lincoln County.
Well, I think a lot of times the problem is when you look at things to be fair or equal.
Here again, that word doesn't exist.
No, it inhibits growth. And the thing about it is and I understand that we need to provide things that, like Catawba County is a great example. We have 5 county schools that, and I'm not talking about the other schools. I'm talking about the 5 main ones. And I know, but at the very least, put 5 ping pong balls, different colors in a thing, roll it up and pull one out and say, this is one we're starting on this year. Mm-hmm. This one we're starting on. I mean,
that's fair. Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's, and people say, well, it's, you ought to spend money. Listen, the growth and development does not occur in the building. The foundation for, some knowledge does. But the growth and development of a child is always formed outside that building. And none better than in, participating in things like chess club, the Save What's Left extracurriculars and sports include, that are in that. And, to me, it's the holistic approach. We've got a lot of money to do a lot of other things. I really, not just in Catawba, I'm talking about just, everywhere. Really, at some point we really need to try to get this done. I don't think the people that, whether it be the Board of Education or whoever, I don't think they understand the importance of what that will bring from number one, from a safety issue, but number two, from a community development issue. If you want to remain relevant, you've got to have people that show up. They can't just be there in spirit, okay? You got to have cheeks in the seat, all right? So if you have recreation department and things like that go in and they're able to utilize the field too, that is a community place for everybody. The experience we had last fall at Hickory High School with my youth league football team was incredible. And that field had everything to do with it. Now, there are people really nice there at the recreation, but the field had everything to do with it. Everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. It's not because, it's new and exciting. It's better. It's better.
Do you think that we're at a point in Catawba County that we're going to have 7 fields?
Yeah.
We got that need turfed?
Yeah. So now we got 6, right? Because
Hickory's got theirs, so you got 6 others.
Yeah, has theirs. But I think Newton.
Do you think we're always going to have 6 high schools?
Yeah. I think we'll
add one or even merge?
No, I think we'll eventually
merge.
I think GG, what'll happen, great question, I'll tell you why. What's happening down in Sherrills Ford, they're going to have to end up building another one because of what's going on down there near Bandy's. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be called Terrell High or whatever, or Lake Norman Part 2 High School. I don't know. But what's happening is Charlotte has nowhere to expand south, west, or east, so it's coming north. And because our tax base is so low in Maiden, they can be 30 seconds from Highway 16, live in the Catawba, whether it be Bandy's or Maiden District, and pay absolutely nothing for the amount they will save on taxes alone, living in the county or inside the city limits at Maiden, will more than make up for the amount, even at high gas prices, that it costs to drive to work every day going into Charlotte, right? Or the other things. But Charlotte has nowhere to go but north.
See, Lincoln County's doing the same thing, and they're eventually going to have to do that because you've already got north and east that have had to move up a classification.
They're busting.
They're going to have to bring another one online to kind of get that because they're looking at the philosophy, and I'm a big believer of this. I'm sorry. I'm a big believer that smaller is better. 3,000 kids in school just doesn't work.
Well, that was the number in high school in
Eastburg.
Eastburg.
In Texas.
Get it down.
Yeah.
Works in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always been that way.
In
North
the concentrated
Carolina
areas,
has never been that way.
I can tell you where it didn't work, and I hated to see Eastburg getting busted up in Freedom. Okay, Freedom probably needed to. Patton was a good move. But they should have took the Drexel kids that go to Eastburg now to Drawn and put them at Patton. All right, and left Eastburg alone. They built Drawn High School, which now, Eastburg is a 2A, Drawn's a 1A. Patton, I think, is either 2 or 3, and the Freedom's 3. Hey, talking about classification. I can tell you that my experience at Eastburg was very, very good. However, we had 4 junior highs that fed into one school, Eastburg. So theoretically, 7 through 9, you would think you would have 40 to 50 guys, just example, or 20 to 30 ladies that would be playing volleyball that next year because of all the junior highs. That is not the case. What happened was a lot of guys said, well, I can't play at that big school, that were good athletes that are now playing these sports. And if you're in a metropolitan area, I think it's much different because you have collective resources. When you're in a place like Burke County that is, just outside of Hickory, but, a lot of industry and things are left and gone, in order to reach the kids. I just remember that a lot of teachers is like college. I knew all my teachers and they knew who I was, but there were kids that were basically a number. And that's how you checked your test scores, was they post them with the last 4 of your Social Security number. And I felt like my experience Mine was okay, pretty good, but for the most part, for most kids, we had a lot of guys that should have been continuing to play that said, well, I can't compete with them other guys, so I'm just going to do – and it ended up hurting us because they could.
I think plus now kids have more options where to go to school in Catawba County than they ever had before. Talking about, private schools, charter schools, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think if we don't get ahead of that, on the county level and then like not just Catawba but other counties, if they don't get ahead of that and say, look, what is real is real. What people say, well, you shouldn't transfer schools because of academics or sports. You should. Well, it's accepted in academics, but if you want to transfer because of a sport, that's like looked down on. My question is to anybody that's out there listening or anybody at any time, why does it matter to anybody in the school system why a kid wants to go, the decision their parents made? Why does that matter? And they'll come back and say, well, tax dollars pay for this. You can pay to go somewhere else, and people do. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why it's to me it's government overreach.
So
again,
and about control.
So
it's ridiculous.
So what you're saying is it should be more like Charlotte is, to where you can go kind of wherever you want to.
What does it matter?
Well, I'm just asking.
I'm not fussing at you. I'm just saying, why does it matter? Like, why is everybody worried about what everybody else is doing instead of focusing on what they're doing? Because it's not fair.
But that's my whole thing with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Inside of each educational unit, you've got different rules.
Yes, and they leave it up to the local LEA.
Yeah, so if you've got counties that you compete in, now I don't think you have it as much when you're talking about like Caldwell, Burke, Catawba, Lincoln. But it used to be kind of the same way. But when you've got counties that are inside one conference in competition, and you don't have the same basic rules,
I agree.
It's not fair.
But the thing about – and that's the whole thing. Like, my thing is, why does anybody care? I mean, this is 2022. People are more mobile.
So how do you fix it?
You don't fix it. You don't make up so many doggone rules that you got to enforce. Rules are not – people say rules are a good thing.
But what I'm saying is –
the more rules you got, the worse it gets.
If you leave everything –
maybe more boundaries,
more transparency. Yes.
If you leave everything to the local level, then that means that adjoining counties don't have to agree. So you have different sets of rules.
I could take Quinn right now and put him in any school in Burke County, pay whatever the amount is. Mm-hmm. I can't put him in Patton because they're full. But in Burke County, if you live in Burke County, you can transfer to any school you want to as long as they're not over-enrolled. Patton is at its full. Mm-hmm. You can't transfer to Patton unless you actually move there, right?
How did that happen?
How did what happen?
How did Patton get full? Because of the open transfer?
Because of the size school they built, okay, in anticipation of what was going to happen. That Mull-Salem area is, there's a lot of obviously a lot of land out there, a lot of population, people moving outside the city, I say city, the town of Morganton to, be able to commute back in. But, there's a lot of opportunity for more land.
But both of those schools at one time was thought they may not make it because they didn't have enough kids, Drone and Patton.
Okay, so
Patton, when it first happened.
Yeah, so Patton was okay, from what I understand. But Drone is the one that had the most concern. But what's interesting is, out of all the schools, I dare say Drone's the one that has had the most success so far. And those are the Valdez Drexel guys that I grew up with that now have kids that are going and playing at that school. And the one-on-one, is a big deal. But there's been kids that have transferred from Freedom and Patton into Drawn that their football team's going to – I tell you what, they got a chance to go a long way in 1A this year.
But when you do
chance to win it, they got everybody
When
back.
you do that, the thing that happens that is kind of concerning is like last year at East Rutherford, they couldn't field a football team.
Okay, so and I agree with that. But my thing is this, and I've talked to many
because all
people,
the kids went to Chase, from what I understand.
I know, but this is
and the private school down there.
This is what happens, in my opinion. The reason that they don't want to make things open, and you can just go where you would like to go as long as it's within the LEA, is because it would hold the accountability of who's coaching where at a higher stake. Okay. And
what's wrong with that?
Whether to you and I, there's nothing wrong with that. And I've had that conversation with some people as well.
I have no problem with accountability.
Well, but that's not what government's about. Okay, that's not what it's about. All right, they say that it is, but it's not. And this is what happens. Well, we got to find somebody. Nobody will come and do it. Well, you have to subsidize or pay people to come in and do those things, right? Like if I wasn't in the position I am and, removed, from the system but still coaching it, I don't get paid a thing to help. I don't want the money. Mm-hmm. I'm out there for the benefit of the kids that I've been with for the last, 10, 12 years, okay? But you just can't find a bunch of old retired guys, to come out there and coach. You've got to have a new wave, new blood, new energy. And unfortunately, the salaries just aren't. I mean, like if I was a young guy and I was wanting to coach, if I had to start over, I wouldn't coach in this area. I'd go to South Carolina or Georgia. I would.
Even Virginia. If you're at
Virginia's a great example.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yes.
And I saw somebody posted a story yesterday with the pay scales of a.
That was Florida and North Carolina,
and they also added Virginia.
It wasn't even close.
Well, no, it's not going to be.
God, Leslie Kaiser said,
Yes.
Heath, let's move. I mean, it was huge of what the difference was. And no state tax in Florida.
No.
Yeah. Cost of living a little higher there.
Yes.
But 70, I think for a veteran teacher, 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah.
73,000.
Right.
Now, they have different supplements. Mm-hmm. They add 1%, 2%, 3%. They have about 5 or 6 different ways to supplement. Whereas in Catawba County, we got just one supplement. Well, you got the coaching supplement as well, which is low. But just teaching, I guess in North Carolina, the highest you could make would be base salary.
Mid-50s.
54.
Yeah.
54.
I mean, come on. And the thing about
Virginia,
it is, too,
it was like 68.
Well, and let me go out. Let me go kind of different direction, but on the same topic. I think what I understood when I went in, 25, 30 years ago as a teacher is that I was not going to make a lot of money as a teacher, but my benefits when I retired is what was most valuable because of lifetime income through a pension, which nobody has anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And through a combination of that and Social Security, and then anything else I may have been able to, stuff in a sock somewhere, right?
Right.
So I think that's kind of the way that things are evolving now, where they're taking away some of the benefits of retirement and paying more. All right, that was always the capture that my dad made very clear to me, son, you're not going to make any money at all. You're going to be on the brink of starvation, but when you retire, things are set for you.
But
so
that's
you gotta,
the way
that's what you got to remember.
That's the way government jobs were
right, but that's
to be.
the whole
now
point.
That's kind of
it's a yin and yang and a give and take, and I get that, but that's why you see like California and talk about the pension system, or like Illinois talking about how they're broken on this. Well, I mean, they've been paying people astronomical salaries. Okay, yeah, the cost of living is more, but they've been paying astronomical salaries and astronomical retirement benefits. At some point, you need something like COVID so they can stuff a bunch of stuff in a bill to fund those pensions again and say, oh, it's COVID money. No, what it is pension relief. Okay, North Carolina was in trouble in 2008.
Yeah.
And I don't say mismanagement of funds, but it was just a terrible time, and nobody really knew what direction to go because everything was falling, kind of like now, stocks and bonds, at that time for different reasons. But, it was just a tough time. And you just, you have to be frugal with those things. If you're going to make a promise to people, you daggum better well keep it, right? It's kind of like the Social Security thing. Those age people are the voting block. And what I heard yesterday, there's going to be close to a 10% raise in Social Security this year. So you tell me how the pension system with that's going to – there's only one way to feed it. You know what that means. Increase what?
Taxes.
Yeah. So,
the people that are working.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the whole thing with Social Security anyway. It's not – people say, well, I put this much money in. I should get it. It ain't about that.
That's the way it should have been. That's the way it was intended. But that's not the way that
ain't the way that it works. The way it works is the working people pay for retired people. They don't care really about how much you put in. They got limits and all this stuff, and maximums and all this. But that's not really the way the system's set up. Okay, if you want, people want to have truthful conversation. You say, well, I'd put that money in. I'm gonna get my no. It's based on how many people are working.
That would be called a 401k.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way that works.
Or 201 right now.
When you put that money in, that is your money plus anything that it gains or loses, but not when it's in a retirement system like that. Yeah. Had someone to give me a comment that they had an opportunity to go to Texas and coached, offered quite a bit of money. Didn't have a teaching certificate, but they were going to help get that.
Yeah.
There are places that will do that.
Yeah.
Places that will do that.
Yeah, the thing about it is again, that's looking at, not just the educational in the building side of things, but the overall experience and how many people that affects. When you have good sports, you have employment.
It's about what that individual brings to the table as a whole.
That's right.
And the complete package.
I mean, it's like Sidney Lowe coaching basketball in NC State. Mm-hmm. Like, he can't coach you until he gets his degree. I'm thinking, why?
Yeah.
What does it matter? Well, he needs to set the example for all that. Look, dude, you get a degree, there's 4 places you can go with it. Number 1, you can be employed and pay your taxes before you get your check. You can be self-employed or contract and pay your taxes before you get your check. Or you can be a business person and get paid and then settle up your tax in a year. You can be an investor and get paid and then settle up your tax at the end of the year. You got to decide. And I'm not going to go on that anyway. That's rich dad, poor dad. But anyway, my point is, figure it out.
Yeah.
This is 21st century. This is not the industrial age. Wake up.
I'll give you a couple of headlines when we come back. It's okay. And then a comment that was made by Adam Silver with the NBA. How does it affect the NBA and other professional sports? In a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back.
You got to get that subscription service going, right?
All I know is I just
today it would have been worth it.
I want a disclaimer.
I'm slinging.
I want a disclaimer.
Manny's got his finger on the button. He doesn't want to open up a mic or anything.
Slinging haymakers.
Woo, baby.
All I got to say is the chickens.
All right.
The chickens are
the Tigers.
I may be becoming a employee of Catawba County Schools.
Whoa, what are you going to do?
Teach.
Where?
At a local middle school.
Whoa, like real local?
Yeah, right, in Catawba County Schools.
Like real local?
Not that local.
Not that local. Not that local.
In the Mountain View area.
Yeah, that's
not
fantastic.
That
possibly.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Go coach football.
I don't think so. Maybe cross country.
Go help.
Yeah,
Mike.
there you go.
Yeah, I'm a cross
country.
country coach. Yeah. I think I'm busy during the football season.
Yeah.
Full time
Cross-country.
with a little broadcasting.
Cross country.
What do you do as a coach cross country? Okay, boys, go. Or ladies,
run.
Listen,
go run.
Go run.
There was a guy that played
I'll
basketball.
see you in 15 minutes.
No, there's a guy that played basketball at NC State, okay? And he coached there. And he was the head basketball coach at UNC Asheville for a long time.
Biedenbach?
Yeah, Eddie. So when we moved up that way, he was my neighbor. Oh, my God, he's the greatest guy. Awesome dude, right? He says, yeah. I was talking to him out in the yard one day. He just walks up. He's like, hey, how you doing? Like, Coach Biedenbach, great to see him. He's got he's been hollering all these years. He said, yeah, we were talking. He said, yeah, I coached track one time. He said, I thought I was the best track coach. I said, well, I bet you were good, sir. He's like, yeah. He said, kids looked at me, wanted to know what to do. I said, look, I want you to keep turning left until you get back here faster than that other guy. That's what he said. That guy was great, man. What a good dude, man. He was such a good guy.
I coached a few sports for a simple reason nobody else would, and I had my bus license.
Yeah. You were valuable.
Yeah,
that made you a
bus
coach.
license, big deal.
That made you a coach.
But I enjoy doing things with the kids like
I do
chess
too.
and stuff like that. That were off the athletic field that reached a larger, broader, more diverse population. I would say
one of the sports that I really enjoyed was I coached tennis one year, boys tennis, and I got to play. We'd always be one short sometimes for a double or something, or somebody wasn't there, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Mark Herman does a good job at Maiden with our tennis. He does a good job. He really enjoys it.
I heard that a couple of middle schools in their PE classes are going to start pickleball.
I told you what I did.
Yeah.
They should.
I told you what I did.
Really
if you needed, if somebody, I'll throw it out there one more time. I'll do one more donation. But I thought I had told you this. Jesse Beam had posted. He does PE down at Rock Springs. That I told you the nets are like $350, but you can buy a pickleball set for like $30, and then you can buy the makeup lines where you do a little court for
sure.
20,
right.
and he had posted if anybody would like to donate. So I messaged him.
Absolutely.
I said, give me a shipping address.
Yeah.
And it's one part of it will be there Monday, and then the rest of it will come. And I said, yeah, I'll be glad to donate a set, and that'll give you one because I think that's a great thing for kids to pick up because that's an indoor or outdoor, and that's another one of those things kind of like golf. You can play forever. My boss, I told you, he'll be 85. And he's won the senior games a few times in pickleball, and he won't play with anybody that's over 60 because they're not competitive enough. So,
love it.
A lot of folks are doing it. So, yeah, no, I think that's good. I'd rather see that than PE teachers that just roll the balls out.
Yeah. Well, people say that a lot, but I'm sure there's some. But I can
some
tell
days
you the
you have to do that.
Free. They call it free play, so kids can find the activity. That they they want to do. You have 6 or 7 of them. You just kind of say, okay, choose, and that's fine too. But
because you might have to go outside and you have to mow the grass or get the field ready.
Yeah,
you don't have time to do the lesson, that kind of thing. Just roll the ball out.
It's insane.
Let me go British Open for just a few minutes, and here again, correct me on my facts. Didn't Dustin Johnson go live? Didn't he go live tour?
I think so.
Okay. The reason I say that is because yesterday – well, he's first.
Okay.
Okay.
He's up there.
Yesterday, because he's already finished for today. He shot a 68-60 – I'm sorry if you're going to watch it at night. I'm sorry. I've already let the cat out of the bag. He shot a 68 yesterday, 67 today. Yeah. He's 5 under. Yeah. But the reason I bring that up because yesterday they were talking about the dominant players that have – switched to the Live Tour weren't getting a lot of TV time. They were playing that game, Yeah. Gonna be hard not to keep the camera on Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, and Tiger, Tiger was really. Did you see some of the things that he had said?
He was outspoken about
it. He says that he says that guys have abandoned.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna stop you right there. Okay. I know what he said, but the PGA kicked him out. But here's the deal. When Tiger was really competitive, he didn't go grind it out every week. He picked about 10 tournaments that he wanted to play, and he played those, and he got endorsement money. He got show-up money.
Right.
Why is it different for these other guys? He's being kind of hypocritical, I think, and Rory too.
I think that's kind of where some of the guys are going with this, coming back at him saying, look, some of us do not yet or have not had the opportunity to have the notoriety or exposure. Yet you got yours through endorsements and also on the field of play. But through endorsements is where, for example, Michael Jordan made all his money.
Yeah.
It'd be like Michael Jordan coming in and telling, Sean Jefferson, who was a former player, hey, you shouldn't go play in the new China League that's going to pay you $10 million a year versus $2 million because the NBA is what's giving you your – given your pedigree and opportunity, and you really need to – well, I mean, that's real easy to say when you got stuff coming in like this. These people have to take care of their families, and many times, as we all know, many, many more people, okay? It's just the way it is. And, not every golfer comes from privilege. I think that's the other thing, too, that is a big misnomer in this. And so there's a lot of people to be taken care of. Now, I understand what Tiger's saying about loyalty, okay? But it's a lot easier to be loyal when you have all the benefits of the loyalty, through your hard work and dedication that others may not be blessed with or worked as hard, which is on them, but they got to go and seek opportunity where they can find it.
We were talking earlier about baseball has shortening games, 7-inning games. Isn't the Live Tour like a 7-inning baseball game?
Yeah.
Right, if you're going 54 holes?
Yeah.
Do you think
that'll
go?
It's a 3-day.
Do you think, Live stands for 54, Roman numeral, LIV.
Yeah,
right.
Do you think that it survives more than a couple of years or so? I mean, if you're throwing out money, right, you want to get a return on your investment.
No, I agree.
No, they're not looking for a return on investment.
TV contract.
They're not looking for that. You don't know what they're looking for?
They want to merge?
No, they're looking for acceptance because the Saudis are not looked at very positively. So they're looking to get involved to say, hey, we're really not bad guys. There are things that happen, but that's my understanding.
That's a very altruistic way to look at it, but how will they survive on that? How many
they can.
Yeah.
Surviving on feelings.
No. The Saudis can survive because money's not an issue.
It isn't now. They got 75 years left if we go into the current way things are going.
But you know what I'm saying, though.
And they had 32 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I'm just, that's kind of what that's based on. They're not trying to
it's
compete.
The same thing.
They're not trying to compete against the PGA and those type things. And I don't know that it'll ever catch on. But I can't blame any of these guys that want to go make their money. They're making it legitimate.
Kind of like the USFL did back in the day. Donald Trump wanted to get attention and recognition.
And he did. When I say this, and I don't know the political side of it, okay, because I don't care. I'll just be honest with you. I don't care. But when people talk about, well, that's blood money, well, I got news for you. If you're getting a dime or buying any product that comes outside of this country, everybody's got those issues, so don't pick and choose who you want to.
But boy, don't we do that by all the nobility that we see.
I've told you this story. I've told you this story. My cousin who served in Nam, spent a year there. He wanted some of these fishing type shirts that's got the vents and stuff to wear. So I ordered him some. I got access to that kind of stuff. Didn't think a thing about it. Got it in, gave them to him. I said, try these on, see if they work. If they don't, we'll get something else. He calls me and he says, I can't wear these. I said, okay. They too small, too big? No, I looked at them and they were made in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he said, I just can't. I can't.
But see, I understand that.
You know what I'm saying?
But I understand that because he experienced
That's exactly
I get
right.
that. It's not displacement. It's actual experience of what I get that.
But what I'm telling you is you can't pick and choose if you ain't been there.
No, I agree with you 100%. And it's like people getting on there saying, oh, these atrocities and this happened over here.
The majority of countries we buy stuff from have human rights violations.
But yet those same people that are just so noble and they're doing it for the good.
And Nike's went through
about
that.
China.
Nike's went through that.
I remember when I first started working in the late 70s, early 80s, or in the mid 70s, when I got my driver's license and all these Japanese cars came out. Mm-hmm. And some older people, including my father and people of that generation, the greatest generation, they wouldn't buy any Japanese cars. And that's what you're saying to your point.
Washer, dryers, any of those things.
But here's the bad part.
Because it took a while to get that.
Next generation.
The bad part, here's the bad part that a lot of people don't understand. I'm not getting political. I promise I'm not. You don't understand where all these products come from, even if they're under an American name, and you don't understand the percentage of shareholders that are outside across the pond from these countries because nobody in this country cares who they sell their stock to. The money's green.
Yeah.
The money's green. Well, but, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't pick and choose what you're doing because if you do – you're not going to have any goods to buy.
Well, okay, so the ESG investments, the socially responsible investments that a lot of people are looking into, and I'm not going on that, I'm just giving an example. There's a lot of questions. Are those, legitimate for a long period of time? Mm-hmm. Many people say yes, they are because people are investing in things they're socially or, whatever aware of, okay? My thing is, on that, people have the right to do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say. I agree with it, or even if it makes it right, but they have that right. And the one thing that we can't allow in this country is for people to be outspoken about certain issues, but yet they're violating the same issues.
That's correct.
In other places, all right, but they don't want to talk about that because it doesn't benefit them financially. Mm-hmm. So that makes them a bigger hypocrite than the issue itself, that's occurring, when people speak out, they're for or against it. That crap has got to stop. And, again, people can say what they want to say and do what they want to say. But when I say it's got to stop, people got to stop feeding into that and following people that do these things because they're really irrelevant. They're not serious people, or they would address serious issues all the way around things, okay? And if they're going to, we talk about not using sports as a platform and play ball while you're out there, but if you're going to do that, be a serious person, not a BS artist.
Yeah.
Because serious people see through that, and eventually it all goes away. and you're standing there left, with your, mug in your hand and looking around going, where'd everybody go?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes serious people don't make the money's not as much there as the BS people.
That's right.
That's
right. I couldn't agree more.
I'll end it on sports. David Duvall probably won't make the cut, projected cut at 3 over. He is currently at 11 over. Darren Clark is 10 over. The Tiger is 7 over through 13.
That's pretty close.
He's got to make a pretty good move with 4 holes to go, and he's got 4 strokes at the projected cut. Some other top names, Stuart Sink. He's at +5. He might make it. Then you've got some guys that are.
Where's JT at?
I'm looking.
I thought I saw him tee off at 9 o'clock this morning.
JT is tied at 81. He is +1.
Yes,
and he tees off at 9:04 our time.
Okay,
so about 3 minutes from now. Yeah. Fairway Jesus, Tommy Fleetwood is at +1. Sorry, I don't make these up. I'm just saying. Zach Johnson is -1. Phil is -1. And not that I'm a big fan, but I just love saying his name. Louis Ozenhazen is at -1. Your leader right now in the clubhouse after 2 rounds is Dustin Johnson. Terrell Hatton is in second, and Scotty Schefter and Cameron Smith are all tied for second. Have a great day, the boys.
One question before you go.
I'm
just one
all
question.
about questions.
Who's going to be the quarterback for the Browns this year?
Who's going to be the quarterback for the Browns?
Either Garoppolo or Brissett.
Okay. That's just for next week. I'm just saying that I heard a lot of stuff at the thing this weekend.
Who's going to be the quarterback for the Panthers?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me tell you something. That's not as popular as you would think.
Matt Rule doesn't like him. Didn't like him in college.
I think Matt Rule's going to be irrelevant after this year.
Well, he is relevant. He was irrelevant last year.
But
in case you keep
I'm not discounting what I'm saying is that there's something dynamically going on right
in case
here.
Nobody told him, he's not been relevant since he got here.
And Sam Darnold apparently is taken very serious by the people in the locker room. And so there's going to be some
There's going to be a fracture is what's going to be.
Yeah. And I'm wondering kind of what Juju's saying, if there's not a huge circle of trades going on at the last whatever that would get Garoppolo and then Darnold somewhere as a backup, or even a number 1 for some. I mean, there's the reason I asked that, I heard some really interesting stuff this past Wednesday when we were near the training camp.
If there's a coin flip between Darnold and Baker, okay, both of them have 1 year left, but you're not paying Baker anything.
Do you know that
why wouldn't he be trade bait?
Have the highest interception rate and something else over the last whatever years, both of them?
Well, I've said before, Baker's got to start because I don't think he can sit on the bench.
I'm probably in a different boat, and I'm not a necessarily because he played for Cleveland, and that's I'm anti-Steelers with the Browns. But I think just from a football perspective, quarterback, get rid of all the other noise in the locker room and everything.
Right.
He's a hell of a lot better quarterback than Sam Darnold, in my opinion.
But the problem is,
I just said, just flat out looking at who's the better quarterback.
But you know what? One of the biggest things in a locker room is
Freddie Freeman.
No, it's acceptance.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's acceptance and the buy-in of those players.
And if he helps him win, it'll change
very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
But let's play advocate on the other side.
But the players have to believe that decision was made, and they see the same thing that management.
Well, if he performs on the field,
right,
and gets in the playbook, learns the playbook, and performs in the preseason,
issue.
There you go.
There's no issue.
It should be a meritocracy. Best man should win.
Absolutely.
And I'm just saying, if it's all things being equal, if both team or both players are given the same opportunity, whoever plays the best should be the starting quarterback. And I just think if you're
if it ain't, there'll be a lot of lookout box.
Yes, I just think the player that has the most ability
is him,
is Baker.
Yeah, and if you see, I never thought. I listen to Colin Cowherd like you guys, all the time. He was really big on Rosen and
I was too.
And Darnold. But again. The reason I was sitting there going, man, I just don't know. I said, they're both really good guys, but it's who they played against. When Baker played at Oklahoma, when he played in championship-style games, regardless of the antics, kind of what you're talking about, just get everything out of the way, he still performed at a pretty high level. My thing is, has he learned? Mm-hmm. Is he more mature? And is he ready to –
Opening press conference showed that, but that's early. That's not on the field.
He looked good. I mean, he said the right things and his facial expression.
For the first time ever.
Yeah. But again, I look at Kerry Collins and say, you know what? He had a second chance, and he made the most of it too.
Yeah, he did.
Because he had a run. But these are young, very young people.
He went a couple of places after he blew it up with the Panthers. He went to the Titans. He went to the
Giants.
Raiders, and then he wound up with the Giants.
Yeah.
Went to the Super Bowl.
And he had that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'm hopeful because Kerry had a lot of those immature things. But you know what? When I look back on it at that age, glad there wasn't these things around. Okay, that's all. I mean, let's just be honest.
What are you saying?
I'm saying it was East Carolina's a lot of fun.
What are you
saying? It's a good place.
Have a great day and weekend. We'll see you next week.